he's a level raiser. And I do think there's a section of Arsenal fans that do this weird thing in that, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, you weren't bigging up Madueke, and now it's the best thing since sliced bread. I think he's a decent player with potential, but that's my thing, where it's nothing to do with Madueke necessarily. It's Mikel Arteta. I love young players and all of that. I just think where we're at now, especially in the attacking ranks, we need kind of sure bets. I think Madueke at this moment in time, fair enough if you play off the right. I don't quite buy that you're going to be back up. I know 50 million is not the biggest of fees, but I don't quite buy that you're going to be back up. I know managers lie, but you got a World Cup to think about and things of that ilk. You must being told I'm going to go and play. So if he's going to cut out a career as a left winger, I hope it works. But at this moment in time, I can't see it. Like even with Eze, Eze can play 10, play all about the place. But even if he was just to play off the left for us, that's a level raiser. I know what I'm kind of getting. With Madueke at this moment in time, for me, it's kind of like the Trossard, Martinelli thing in that. In terms of numbers, I don't know what we're getting. I know Saka brings X amount. I hope Gyökeres brings X amount. So it's just Arteta just has to get that out of him, really. I do think he could be a good player on the left-hand side. Obviously, him being left-footed as a left winger, maybe that helps with crossing and whatnot. I'm more looking at Arteta to make it work because you're the manager. Fair enough. By the same token, Ramsdale was kind of cool. You mentioned Ramsdale. He was doubted at first. He started getting nominated for awards. We were not saying bringing the keeper. Raya was an unpopular decision. It worked. Nobody cares about Ramsdale right now. Raya's doing his thing. As you said, he's a potential player this season. So I hope that happens with Madueke. If it doesn't, under the premise of us wanting to win a trophy, etc., then we're in issues. Like, do you think we could still sign Eze and Rodrigo, if not both, with what we've done so far? Because I think we need one of them.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I could see them signing Eze. The Rodrigo thing appears to have gone cold for the time being. But as I said before, Deluded, and you may differ, and I respect that. But if it's a straight choice between Rodrigo and Eze, I'm going Eze all day. And I know what people have said.
No, I'm Eze.
Oh, right. I know people have said that, yeah, but surely Rodrigo is a more natural left winger. And that is true. But I just think that Eze overall offers you more. And like I said, the man's battle tested already in the Premier League. You see, the thing is, the Premier League, as we all know, is a very harsh environment, man. You know what I mean? Not everyone's
unforgiving and relentless.
Yeah, not everyone's built for this. Eze has shown that he not only is he built for it, he can excel. So, listen, man, I'd prefer to go with what I know, and that's Eze. But just coming back to Madueke, it's interesting because I do have a couple of friends who support Chelsea, and obviously they would have watched Madueke, and I've had like honest conversation where I say, like, put aside all the BS that comes with Madueke. What is he like as a player? What is his attributes? And the one thing that I spoke to 3 different people, and the one thing that all 3 of them said to me is that he's an excellent ball carrier. He likes dribbling. And we need that. I mean, how many times last season have people like me and you expressed frustration with our wingers, especially Martinelli and Trossard? We said they don't take on the fullbacks enough. Because especially when you're playing teams that are defending deep and deploy the low block and that, you need your wingers, man, to try and get behind the defenders to do damage. You know what I mean? And far too often we saw last season and even Saka at times was guilty of this, by the way. So, you know what I mean? Even he's not beyond reproach. But especially on the left side, what you would tend to see with Martinelli and the likes was that they will carry the ball. They come up against a defender or maybe 2. They get double teamed. And then what they will do, they will circle back. And then things have to start all over again. Now, I'm not saying
just recycling.
You should never do that because obviously sometimes you have to recycle the ball and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But what we did miss is a person that was prepared to be more direct, take on the fullbacks, take on the defenders, and do damage in the final third of the pitch. And the one thing that all 3 of the guys, there were 3 different Chelsea fans I spoke to, they all said that Noni Madueke is a good ball carrier, he's a good dribbler, and he's very direct. He likes to take players on. And I thought, you know what? Straight away, that is a good attribute. And that's probably the kind of thing that Arteta and Berta have identified with Madueke and thought, you know what, we could use that. You know what I mean? So I think it's a strong possibility that it could work. I hope it does. Listen,
it has to work.
Bro, when he was first mentioned, I was like, nah, I don't want that you at the club. You know what I mean? I was like, nah.
Same. I couldn't see it.
And like I said, it was more to do with his character than it was his football. Even when he was carrying on with that nonsense, we all knew he was a good player. Like I said, he's forced his way into the England team. So, you know what I mean? The guy's a good player. He's playing for Chelsea. He's done well. But there were certain reservations I had. But I think that the attributes that he brings will enhance us as a team. I do. And I hope he does well.
Facts. For me, it just comes down to end product. Like that's the end of the day. Like that's what I'm looking at with all my attackers. Like I do think you can carry a ball, you can do all of those kind of things. But are you going to get me my goals and my assists? Now that's down to you and Mikel Arteta to obviously make happen, because I think our front three, I think every team should, like, their front three or their attacking options, that should be the one sure bet. And as I said, I think our defensive unit, I think generally I know what I'm getting. Midfield, I kind of know what I'm getting. Up front or the attackers is where it's a bit of a mixed bag, and I think Madueke kind of ties into that. I hope it works. I actually like his attitude in a weird way, as much as I've criticized it, because I actually feel like you're not here to play games, you want to be the star and things like that, which I always say to people. I think there's many footballers that you wouldn't be able to get the ball off them in a phone box. They can do, you know, they can do everything with a ball, but they're scared, so you're never going to see it. And then you might have someone that's average, but they think they're the best thing since sliced bread within reason, so they're making it happen. So I'm all for it. Like, to go back to what you said about Rodrigo and Eze,
you know what, you make a good point. Sorry to interrupt, but you make a very good point there. So Madueke, the one thing he doesn't lack for is confidence. You know what I mean? So it would appear to all intents and purposes that he's a guy that's very full of himself. So if we can channel that confidence in the right way, so you don't want to take that away from him. You don't want to talk that out of him.
It won't be him.
You want to channel it towards the team, you know what I mean? So you say to the guy, listen, we're not trying to inhibit your style. We want you to be free-flowing. We love the fact that you're confident, you take on players, but it has to be for the benefit of the team. If we can instill that in him, which I'm confident we can, then I reckon it will turn out to be a good signing. And people like me will then be forced.
All you can say is fair enough, you know, it's work. You want it to work.
I'll be more than happy to do that. And on another point you made as well, another good point you said, is that it's that final third of the pitch that I think is so desperately in need of improving. So if you look at the goalkeeper, Raya, outstanding last season. I've got every confidence in him that he'll be just as good this season. The defense, we've got a brilliant defense, man. And we're adding to that with Mosquera, and I'm really happy with that defense. Saliba, Gabriel, absolute behemoths, man. These men are proper.
You know, we've got Lewis Skelly and Timber and White in the mix now.
Yeah, Miles Lewis Skelly. The midfield, I think I'm excited about the midfield. I think even though I was an admirer of Partey, well, Partey's gone now. Zubimendi is just as good, if not better, I believe. I think,
raiser, he is.
Yeah, and I think that Norgard is an improvement on Georgina. And then, of course, we got Declan Rice, let's not forget him. You know what I mean? We got Odegaard. Okay, Odegaard was indifferent last season. He had injuries, he had loss of form, but we're strengthening in that area as well. And then, like I said, with the striker situation, now if we get Jokeris, listen, man, that's a complete set pretty much.
Go and get it done, Mikel Arteta, because that's everything. Because and I feel one thing I'll give the club, like whether I like all the signings or not, maybe it's because we've left it too late. Maybe I shouldn't praise the club for it, because between January and the summer, we should have done it, but it will fit it, provided all the dominoes fall into place. I might be able to criticize certain individuals, or I might not like Madueke or think he's the answer. Is Norgard an upgrade on Jorginho's a debate? But it feels like it's the one season where you would have addressed all the preseason, where you've addressed everything that needs to be addressed. In previous years, we might know we need a left winger, whether that's going to be Eze, Madueke, Rodrigo, or whatever, and a striker, but we might buy one of the two. So we've done it all. I just want to feel like we've controlled the controllables and we can go out there and do a thing, if I'm honest with you. But I would say this, with Madueke signing, I do think there's more of a pressing need, at least in my opinion, beyond the obvious, to bring Eze to the carpet, purely because I can see how you're a level raiser on that left-hand side. As much as Madueke might have experience and potential and all of that, he's going to go through moments. Like, we're not just going to have him for a couple of weeks in pre-season and it's a stroke of genius. It took Kai Havertz, best part of half a year, whether we like it or not, to really look confident and whatnot. I think David Raya came out the other day and actually said the only time I kind of started to feel myself in an Arsenal shirt was the game after. Remember when we played Luton? I think Rice ironically mentioned Luton. I think Rice scored the last minute winner. He said that was the worst game he had. So we'll have to see, man. To go back to what he said about Rodrigo and Eze, It's a techie one because I like them both. Brazil bias, I want to say Rodrigo. For me, I'm on the Eze thing just because I think it's more realistic. I think he's got a release clause. You know where they stand. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He obviously loves Crystal Palace, innit? But it just feels like Rodrigo's not got a foot fully out the door at Real Madrid. So for me, let's just
Yeah,
put all our
yeah,
eggs in the Eze basket and keep it pushing. For me, anyways.
yeah, absolutely. And with Eze, you get the feeling that he really wants to come to Arsenal. So that also is a big plus for me. When you got a
Exactly.
player that is openly saying, "Look, I want to," you know what I mean? That speaks. It's a bit like Gyökeres. Gyökeres made it clear that Arsenal. He was linked with other clubs, and he's making it clear that he wants to come to Arsenal. That's big. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm excited. Hashtag no excuses. If we get these
No
guys,
excuses. Get over the line
hashtag,
this time
yeah,
now, man.
because then you see what I was like. The transfer windows like this are often double-edged swords because there's no hiding place for Mikel Arteta now. If he gets those, if he gets to Eze, so then we would have, what was it, Kepa, Zubamendi, Norgard, Mosquera, Gyökeres, and
Someone else.
possibly Eze, hopefully. Madueke and Eze. If you get
Yeah.
those, bro, that is a very good transfer window. Yeah, that's amongst the best transfer windows in the Premier League. Possibly Liverpool's is better. We don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Arsenal, Liverpool will be the two teams that stand out. City have had a good window as well, but Liverpool and Arsenal are the two teams. So what I'm saying is now you've been backed in the transfer window. There is no excuses for Mikel Arteta. He has to deliver a trophy next season. Now, there is a big debate amongst the Arsenal fans. I'm not sure where you stand on it in terms of what our minimum requirements would be. I mean, if you're a man like Turkish and them, man, it is saying it has to be the league or the Champions League. With me, I've revised mine downwards slightly. Even if we get a domestic trophy or two, a good run in the Premier League and in the Champions League, I would possibly take that. I don't know what you think.
I think
But
he needs to
the
leave,
bottom
man.
line is he has to win something this season.
You have to win something as a minimum. I'd say Prem, man, because you've been sniffing at it, like you've been there. And I honestly feel, yeah, fair enough. The 2022-23 season, we didn't expect to go for the title then, but in the 2 years, I think we've had a good chance. I don't think we've exhausted everything, and I'm not blaming them for everything. But I think we've shot ourselves in the foot. And where I need the league is because when it was more us versus City, people would say, rightly so, you know what, give or take, City's a juggernaut. Pep Guardiola and their players and them kind of ones, they're in a different realm to us. If they ever fall off, we'll be the team to strike. Now, obviously, Liverpool are great. They've got previous winners. But from I saw Liverpool win the league last year, where, let's be honest, it weren't a title chase, in it. Like, they were gone. That's where I'm like, okay, because that's one the last thing they can't say. I think, Arteta, you're a good manager. I think you are a very good manager. But are you a winning manager? And every year you don't. We have to look at things like I've seen the players upgraded upon. At some point, you might have to change Mikel Arteta. Now, the new manager could be worse, it could be better. That's just the name of the game. You need to win. Like for me, I think you need to deliver the Prem to save face, and not that you won't have any criticism. You need to win a trophy. The Champions League is, I describe that for me as a bit touch and go. You never know. We got to a quarters under him, semi-finals. Hopefully, we can get to a final, but you need to win now. You've had, I don't really care about money, but you've been allowed to spend a lot in these 3 years, bordering on the fourth. You earn 15 mil a year. Stability as well. Like you're one of the longest serving managers as well. So it's like everything's kind of in place.
And the
highest paid as well. Like with great power comes great responsibility in it. So you need to get a win. We was in 2 semi-finals last year, bro. And we didn't do nothing really, even the League Cup. And I do think with Mikel Arteta, since we won the FA Cup, if you picked up an FA Cup or a League Cup here and there, I wouldn't say there wouldn't be pressure on you, but I think it would kind of been eased. I think when you perform how we performed in the domestic cups, when you don't bring the Premier League home, you're in issues. And look at the 3 years, bro. Like in the last 3 years, wherever way we shape it, we finished second. At some point, we have to get over that line. We've been sniffing at it. We've been flirting with it. Like, it's not a pipe dream for us anymore. It's actually within touching distance. And my biggest fear, I don't know about you, is I don't want to look back in these 3 years and think, you know what, we had a golden opportunity to do things, because everybody's always looking to improve. It's dark, man.
No, you're right. And it's interesting because I saw a stat the other day that was saying that the last time Arsenal finished runners-up 3 years in a row, on their 4th attempt, they won it. So let's hope that's the case this year. But as you know yourself, Deluded, these things are easier said than done. I mean, We came off the back of Man City having such dominance. We pushed them close. And like you said, we're thinking that if Man City slip up, we'll be right there to take advantage.
And we
City
weren't.
slip up, and then Liverpool come and just take the title. But what I'm seeing this year as well is that Liverpool, they won that title last year, as you said, a bit of a canter. It was disappointing in terms of what we did towards the end of that season. Liverpool ended up winning it by 10 points. So you're right, it wasn't really a proper title race. Liverpool coasted it in the end. But what is noticeable is that when Liverpool won that title last season, they didn't spend no money. They brought in one player, Chiesa, who got injured and hardly played. So Arne Slot is taken over a team from Klopp, spent barely any money, and they won the title comfortably. This season now, Liverpool have gone full on. They said, right, you know what I mean? We're strengthening while we're at the top.
And they're not stopping.
They brought in Frimpong. They're linked with Ekitike now. They are going to be a force next season. So when people like yourselves and Turkish and one or two others, and listen, I'm not like wholesale disagreeing with what you're saying. They say, oh, we got to win the title. It's not, I would suggest, as easy as that, because Liverpool are going to be a real force. City are not going to be as bad as they were last season. And even other teams like Newcastle and that are strengthening and stuff like that. So I would suggest that next season's title race is going to be very competitive, man. So
we need to be fighting properly at that, Laurie.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying, I don't think we can look at it and say, oh, just because we've got all these players now, well, we're going to go on and win the title. I wish it was that simple, but it's not. So I would stop short of saying that he has to win the title to keep his job. To me, it depends on how we challenge for the title.
He's not going to lose his job, Laurie, though. Kroenke's not sacking money for that.
Yeah, I hear that as well. I don't think the board is.
If there's no bums on seats, that's a different kind of settings.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if we tail off and, you know what I mean, the
God forbid
are faltering and we're losing games and blah, then yeah, there is a question to be asked for 100%. But I think if he can secure a domestic trophy or two, or, you know what I mean, something like that, I think that will keep the majority of the fan base just satisfied enough to not, you know what I mean, openly call for his head. Although I do understand that there will be people like yourself, like the likes of Turkish, people like that say, nah, man, he's got to win a major now. So that's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Do you know what it is for me? It's because I rate him. Like, I'm not here to gas it and say he's the greatest and whatnot, but it's fair to say he has reset the standards. He has shown me he's innovative and rebuilding systems and all of that. He has shown me he can improve players. We're not getting embarrassed in the Champions League. Fair enough. We are second and they do the second ole stuff. But, you know, if you're bantering us about being second or not getting over the line, then by that default, we've got to be a half decent team, right? We've got a great defensive record, even though I think metrics suggest we've fallen off. We had a dream game against Real Madrid. We're doing decent against the top six. You've shown big balls, if I'm honest with you, to take the job in the first place as your first job. So because I rate you and you've done all of this, you have my credit. It's now, can you get over the line? Do you have the ability to get over the line? And you're a good coach? Are you a winning coach? And at some point, we're going to have to get away from this, because even though I like the guy, I have to get away from the romance. You know, we're not doing you a favor of being at Arsenal. It's a mutual interest. There's been times where you probably could have, should have, and in other cases kind of would have been sacked. And I do need you to be a bit more aggressive and learn from your mistakes. I do feel, even with the Madueke thing, maybe if our owners were more on winning, not that Madueke isn't going to be is going to be a failure or anything, but they might just say to him, listen, don't bet on potential. If you're going to spend 50 million, kind of spend it on whoever that would be a sure kind of bet. I do think Arteta does a lot of good stuff, but I think he shoots himself in the foot a lot. I really do think he shoots himself in the foot. And I want us to win stuff with the guy, but in the same way we've had to upgrade on Jesus, on Zinchenko, on Tommy, on Ramsdale, on Tierney, on Aubameyang, on all of these guys. At some point, you're going to have to look at the manager. I already know how the Kroenkes feel. Even though they could sit here to me, bro, and say, you can't say that we don't care because we've broken our record. We spent money. We backed the guy. We took him and gave him this massive job when he was just working as part of our, Pep Guardiola's coaching stuff. But I don't feel they care like that. I feel they would like to win. I don't think they're dying to win. I think that is reflected in January personally. I think owners that actually wanted to get somewhere, you act in the market kind of thing. So I do kind of feel Arteta is in this weird place where he's kind of left to his own devices. Now, if I remove the romance of Arsenal and things like that, and I just look at him as a manager, you're just going to learn everything you need to learn here, and then someone else might see the future of the fruits of the labor. And even that, if Mikel Arteta left Arsenal today, God forbid, he could leave with his head held high, you know, like he's done his thing. But you might not be the guy that gets us to the promised land. You might have just been able to rebuild the thing. The next guy comes in and we keep it moving. And I feel until you get major honors, that has to be a fair question, purely because you've sniffed that success. I feel a lot of people that are more, you know, cut a lot of excuses. I don't feel they rate Arteta like that, because everybody here rates Saka, right? If Saka doesn't get double figures, we're asking questions. So it's like, you can't have the manager on a pedestal and then hold him to mediocre standards. I just feel within our football club, he's either the best thing since sliced bread or he's mad terrible, which neither are correct. It's like a grey area, a mixed bag. And I'm starting to look at the stability as long as you've been here. I don't do the whole, is it 5 years he's been here, 6 years? I don't do that whole stuff, because he had to rebuild. I look at the 2022-23 season up until last year. So that's 3 years bordering in with the fourth. So he's got to make it work, man. I do think we're sniffing at it. Like we're flirting with it. And when it's all said and done, we ain't got nothing to celebrate. Like, I don't want to remind you, and I don't want to be that guy, but we know them lot down the road one Saturday, and we saw like a year of the underdog kind of thing, Laurie. Like all the underdogs were succeeding. We're underdogs. We didn't grab nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I was having that conversation with Matisse. Shout out to Matisse.
Big up Matisse.
On the DR show yesterday. Incidentally, we had a bet, me and him, about who's going to win a trophy first. Arsenal or Chelsea, and I said Arsenal, and we had a big bet on that. But anyway, back to Arteta. You did make some very good points. I do agree with you. He's in danger of what we call being a transitional manager, meaning that when he came to the club, Arsenal were at a pretty low ebb. I think that's fair to say. And he turned the fortunes around. Indeed, he won a trophy not long after arriving. The problem is, though, is that that's been his only trophy in over 5 years.
Exactly.
And we desperately in need of winning a trophy. And football at the highest level, I mean, you can take away all the sentiment and all that. It's all about results, as we said before.
Winners win and losers explain.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's a bit like the striker. We said, didn't we? We broke it down and said, at the end of the day, man, it's all about goals. A bit like a manager, especially at the managers at the top level, it's about winning trophies. What are you going to win? Chelsea last season, good example with them. They finished fourth, well behind us in the league, but yet still they end up winning 2 trophies. We don't win any. So to all intents and purposes, Chelsea's had a far more successful than we have. When
everything at the club's been geared towards winning, apart from winning now.
Yeah, we know that deep down we are, even Chelsea fans, if they're forced to admit, will tell you that Arsenal are a better team than them. But at the end of the day, we've got nothing tangible to show for it. That's why I said that with these signings now and the period we're in as a club, we simply have to win something this season. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but the pressure really is on Arteta this season.
The players deserve it, man. Like,
yeah, and that's why I said hashtag no excuses. You know what I mean? Because people ain't going to want to hear it. You know what I mean? If we finish trophyless, there are big questions to be asked. You know what I mean? You can't say you haven't got a striker. We've got a striker. You can't say you didn't have a left winger. We've got the left winger. You can't say you've not improved the midfield. We've improved the midfield.
You can't draw out Edu because Berta's come in now.
Exactly. There's nowhere to go, bro. It's just bang. You've got to see
make it happen now.
As the Americans say, you've got to show me something. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Very interesting season coming up, man. But I do think that we certainly got the capability. It's just down to the manager and the players now to do their thing.
And that's it. Like, you've got to do your thing. And to answer this on screen, DG, how can he go with his head held high? I've maintained. I just like to think I'm a fair man. I'm never gonna make out Arteta's been amazing because I haven't seen amazing stuff in terms of the champs and prems, and we've won it all. But are we in a better position than when he walked into where we are now? If he left, we're in a better position. You could leave with your head held high. You fixed up the club in what you can do. You ain't been perfect. You know, you have done that. Like, you have done that. Like, I don't understand why we've got to take it the other way and act like my man's completely rubbish. He's definitely got criticism.
No, you're right. Listen,
I don't know where this kind of language with our fan base comes from, bro.
No, I agree with you. I think if he left the club, he would still be held in high esteem. Listen, if I guarantee you this, right? If Mikel Arteta, for whatever reason, was to leave Arsenal tomorrow, by Monday, he'd be getting offers for other big clubs as well. The guy is very highly regarded. That being said, though,
you only care about what you do over here.
It's a results business, bro. You know what I mean? Look at Ancelotti in there, man. You know what I mean? Look what he's done in the game.
They make it happen.
Real Madrid dropped off. they got rid of him. Chelsea
And
were going through managers like whatever back in the day. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
I'm not
So
on this
that's what
Arteta to the
happened.
wheels fall off if you're not doing wheels
Yeah,
fall off stuff. Like
Ange, then man down the road, he won a trophy, their first
Wenger
trophy
got ran
in
out for
numerous
less.
years, and he got sacked. So you know what I mean? Some people would say that Arteta's led a bit of a charmed life.
He
And
has.
you
There's been an
can't
element of
argue
privilege.
with that. You know what I mean? Two things can be true at the same time. You can be a good manager, but not deemed as good enough because you're not bringing trophies and silverware to the club. A club like Arsenal
Exactly.
is a massive, massive club. I mean, I have this argument with people all the time. Oh, we're a big club. We've won more trophies than you. I say to those people, listen, that winning trophies is not the only criteria for a big club. If you look at Arsenal's fan base, they're standing in the world and stuff like that. They are a massive club. But what we need to do now to, you know what I mean, to really double down on being a big club is to bring those major trophies to the club, which we have to be honest, in recent years, we haven't been doing. Let's see, I hope
Exactly.
it all changes next season. I think it could do.
And then people big up yourself, real youth, for the super chat. But that's the, again, like what Laurie said, two truths can be living in the same realm. He is in high regard. He wouldn't be short of offers. That's not me saying that to gas him and oh my god, Arteta can walk on water. That's just a fact. Equally, I only care about how good you are at my football club. And what I don't want to see is we're riding with you to the wheels fall off. You're learning what, because this is your first job and it's a great job to take. You're riding this wave. You're learning what you need to learn. For some reason, you walk away. You go to, I don't know, some random club. Oh, I did that at Arsenal. It didn't work. Let me do the opposite. And then obviously the opposite results being winning stuff. Like this is the realm now. You need to get over the line. I think even me going back to what I said, Arteta has to win stuff because you've won every little player bust up you've had. Whether I believe Aubameyang was in the right or not, you've won that. You've got to rip up deals. You've got to do bare things now, innit? Get over the line. As I said, Wenger got ran out for less. And I do think that's a valid claim. Like you just need to deliver. That's all we all want now. Just deliver us stuff, man. Like it's now time to deliver. We're spending mad money. Like we're spending, like we're buying Declan Rice and doing all these great things, being linked with Rodrigo and Eze. Let's get over the line now, man. That's just my thing. I want to ask you one. Go on.
Arteta needs to prove if he can go from transitional manager to that next level. That's what we're looking at as Arsenal fans. As you said, you're quite right. We know he's a good manager. No one's saying he's not. But what we want to see now is him deliver trophies. And I think that is fair enough for us to expect that. And not only that, the level of expectation has been raised by two things. One, the fact that we've gone close in recent years. And two, the fact that in recent seasons, we have been spending money. We spent a lot of money in recent years. Now it's time to deliver the trophies. And that's why I'm excited for this season. I'm genuinely excited for this season because, as I keep saying, hashtag no excuses. The players come in, everything is in play. It's up to the manager to get the best out of the players. It's up to the players to perform at the levels so that we can win those trophies. And listen, if they do that, they'll become legends. So, you know, it is what it is, man.
That's all we want. And in relation to this, Ali, about who we're replacing him with, then I ain't got a crystal ball. We could go find the next manager and it's not going to work. We don't know if Gyökeres or Sesko or Ollie Watkins or any striker or Isaac, any guy that we've ever been linked with would actually work. But we know we need a forward. Actually, if you look at when we brought in Mikel Arteta, nobody was saying to get him. He was part of Pep Guardiola's coaching stuff. So by that rhetoric, there's got to be guys out there. And people say you can't sack him because who are you going to replace him with? What if Arteta woke up today and said, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore? You're going to have to find another manager.
Yeah,
it don't make sense, bro.
Yeah, I always say to people when they come with that one, that's a bit of a disingenuous argument. You can't. If I say to somebody, just hypothetically speaking, I don't think Arteta is good enough, and then they fire back at me and say, "Yeah, but who do you want?" I'm saying, "Yeah, bro, I'm not. That's a separate argument. I'm saying this man's not good enough. We need him to replace with." For you to then come back and say, well, who should I get? Okay, you could ask that. But if I can't give you 6 names, that doesn't mean to say that the other guy should stay. Because as you said, Deluded, when Arteta come to the club, no one was real capping for him to become manager. He came out of the blue. He was a coach at Man City. You know what I'm saying? As one of your contributors just said there, who knew about Arne Slot before?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So when people come back at you with, yeah, but who you replacing him with then? With respect, that's not really my thing. I'm just telling you that this guy is underachieved.
If you're in a toxic relationship, you're not going to leave the girl because you don't think you can get other babes. It don't make no sense to me.
You know what I mean? So I could
Crazy.
give you names, but that doesn't mean to say that the guy that's in a job and not performing should keep his job just because I can't give you 6 names who should take over. You know what I mean?
Simple as that.
That's
Like,
the likes of Andrea Berta and them, man, to ask. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
And this is a relationship of mutual interest. Like Arteta's getting to learn on the job with some pressure, but not real pressure, if I'm completely honest, because he could have been out of a role, if I'm honest with you. We're not doing him a favor. He's not. Like, you're the guy for now. We are at a big club. Let's just win things. Laurie, I got one last question before I let you get out of this from one of my moderators. Yeah. Laurie, why then can't we give ourselves the best chance by winning? Sorry, Laurie, why then can't we give ourselves the best chance by signing the best players so we believe we have a realistic chance of winning the league or the Champions League? Others did that.
let me look at that again because it's a little bit cryptic, that question.
Yeah.
What I would say to that is, like I said before, Deluded, and I've been saying it throughout the show, I'm very satisfied with the business that we appear to be doing so far, especially if we can get Eze. If we can get Eze, then I think this has been a really good window. And given what we have already, on top of what we're getting now, I'm fully confident that we can